I have a gem I want to share with you. Today I want to talk to you about 10 rare EIN-only business loans from community banks with huge amounts and cheap APRs. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you are to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about 10 rare EIN-only business loans from community banks with huge amounts and cheap APRs. The thing I want to say very clearly here is that when we talk about community bank, what is that? A community bank is a locally owned and operated financial institution. Okay, so basically this kind of bank, they will take care of the needs of the community. They will help the community develop, right? They will provide loans. They will actually finance activities that are very important. Now, the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, has a more stringent, I would say, definition of what a community bank is. So for this agents, for the FDIC, a community bank must have less than $1 billion in assets, but sometimes the agency will stretch the amount to $10 billion, okay? And one thing I want to say is that when we talk about community bank versus regional bank, it's just a difference of the magnitude of the balance sheet. So a community bank will have maybe 10 billion or less, right? Whereas a regional bank will have something between 10 billion and $100 billion. So at the end of the day, it's all about the size of the balance sheet. And in the last few years, though, we have seen in the industry that there has been consolidation. So what happens here is that because you had the consolidation, this has led to a smaller cluster of community banks, because those are, and this is because the biggies, the big regional banks, are acquiring the small community banks. And one thing you also need to understand is that when we talk about community bank, we're not really talking too far away from credit union, right? Because a community bank is owned and operated by members of the community it serves, which provides the bank with a deep understanding of its customers' financial needs. But a credit union is a member-owned, non-for-profit cooperative banking institution that provides financial services to its members. Why am I even talking to you about all this kind of stuff? It's because when you have a poor or fair credit, or you kind of have some kind of issues with your financial situation, and the big banks they're not willing to talk to you, you want to actually explore other options. And community banks are a great option besides credit union. So I'm showing you on the screen right now because I want to dig a little deeper here in terms of the contrast and compare between credit union and community bank, and because I really want you to understand. And because once you understand, if you don't want to go the credit union route, you can still go the community bank route. So you can see on the screen in terms of the fund safety, right? So community bank versus credit union. So the NCUA stands for the National Commission on Insurance. Okay, so this is an important, the National Credit Union Association, right? National Credit Union Association. So credit union is owned by members. Community bank, you can see your private versus non-for-profit. So private versus public, right? You can see on the screen in terms of customers. So customers share some kind of affiliation when we talk about credit union, right? And for community bank, it's all about living in the community, or you have to worship, you have to do business, or you have to live in the community. So you don't have to live in the community to qualify for a loan or to qualify for a credit card, but you got to have some kind of attachment to the community, loans, and the strength of each institution. So how did we choose our best community banks? We selected those banks, those community banks or regional banks operating in the 10 most populous states in the nation, focusing on banks that serve communities not only in their primary state, but also in neighboring or far-flung states. So we have on the screen, we have California, Texas, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Ohio, Georgia, North Carolina, and Michigan. And we also applied other criteria in our selection process. So I want you to check out this short video to learn more about our evaluation methodology on this show. Check this out. All right, folks, let's get into the actual rankings. So I was talking to you about the top 10 very rare EIN-only business loans from community banks. Number 10, we have NBT Bank. Our score, 7/10. And so for this loan, you got to have time in business 3 months, minimum credit score of 550, business revenue $5,000 a month. Loan amounts will fluctuate between 25 grand and half a million. The APR 5.75 to 18.75%. You can see we're putting all the requirements on the screen right now, so you can see. And I want to say also is that the loan terms will be from 12 to 60 months. Auto pay discount, as you can see on the screen, folks. I want you to look on the screen right now. Origination fee, prepayment fee, late fee, and all that kind of stuff. And so MBT Bank Corp has its primary coverage is in New York. So the bank is based in New York, but it has a secondary coverage, and that's Massachusetts, Vermont, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Maine. Okay, so this is important, and this is a publicly traded company. They have a ticker symbol NBTB on the New York Stock Exchange. So this is a legit company, no problem. And they actually, you can see the business loan requirement, all the loans that they gave, fantastic. Number 9, folks, we have Community Bank, CBNA. Our score, 7.5/10. What are the business loan requirements here? Time in business, 3 months. Minimum credit score, 535. Business revenue, minimum $10,000 per month. Loan amounts, $50,000 to $1 million. The APR, 650 to 1849. Loan term, 12 months to 60 months. And the time to fund, this is pretty fast. This is really fast. So 2 to 3 days. And personal guarantee, yes or no. So when the amounts are low, the bank is kind of cool. But if you want to borrow a high amount, let's say $500,000 or more, they would want to have a personal guarantee. And Community Bank is actually based in New York. The primary coverage is in New York, but the secondary coverage is in Massachusetts, Vermont, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So if you live, worship, or conduct business in those areas, you might qualify for a loan with an EIN loan with this bank, Community Bank. Number 8, folks, we have Seacoast Bank. Our score, 8/10. So Seacoast Bank has a constellation of financing options for businesses, EIN-only, of course. So time in business, 6 months. Minimum credit score, 5.575. Business revenue, $10,000 per month. Okay, and the loan amount, $30,000 to $500,000. The estimated APR, 5.85% to 19.75. The loan term, 12 to 72 months. Auto pay discount, yes. Origination fee. So we're putting all this information on the screen so you can see. And one thing I want to say here is that Seacoast Bank, the bank is based in Florida. So the primary coverage is Florida, but the secondary coverage is Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, South Carolina, and Louisiana. So this is a bank, and the bank is publicly traded. So it has a ticker symbol of a SBCF on public stock markets. Number 7, folks, we have here South State Bank. Our score, 8.5/10. The bank is, this is a great bank to borrow when it comes to EIN-only financing. And here are the business loan requirements. Time in business, 4 months. Minimum credit score, 545. Business revenue, $15,000 per month. Loan amount, $50,000 to $350,000. The APR will oscillate between 4.25% and 16.75%. The loan term, you're looking at 12 to 60 months. They will accept auto pay, origination fee, 0, prepayment fee, 0. and late fee. And the time to fund, this is a little long. This takes a little longer, so 2 to 6 days. But I guarantee you that it's worth it. So when you talk about South State Bank, the primary coverage is South Carolina. So if you worship, do business, or live in that area, you would love South State Bank. The primary coverage is South Carolina. The secondary coverage is Florida. And the secondary coverage encompasses Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, and Alabama. So this is kind of cool. We love this bank because they do a lot of stuff for the community, but also for in all communities that they are engaged in. They have experienced bankers, and they actually focused a lot on the customer. Fantastic. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation today about 10 rare EIN-only business loans from community banks with huge amounts and cheap APRs. So, number 6, we have here Frost Bank. Our score, 8.5 over 10. So sometimes you hear the word Cullen, Frost Bankers. This is the same company, all right? In terms of business loan requirements, time in business 3 months, minimum credit score 525, minimum revenue $5,000 per month, loan amount 25 grand to 250 grand. The APR will oscillate between 5.25% and 18.75%. Loan terms 12 to 48 months. They don't have an auto pay discount. No origination fee, no prepayment fee, no late fee. They do not allow co-applicants, and the time to funding 2 to 4 days, and personal guarantee yes or no depending upon the applicant. And so the primary coverage of a Frost Bank is Texas, but then they also operate in this is their secondary coverage. They also operate in Louisiana, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and California. So if you happen to do business, live, or worship in one of those areas, you will qualify. We have here number 5, Comerica. Our score 9 over 10. So Comerica is a pretty good company also. In terms of business loan requirements, they want you to be in business for at least 12 months. The minimum credit score 600. Business revenue 10 grand per month, $10,000. Loan amounts $10,000 to $500,000. The estimated APR 8.49% to 19.75%. Loan terms you're looking at 1 year to 6 years. Auto pay discount, no. Origination fee, no. Prepayment fee, no. Late fee, no. And they do allow co-applicants. And the time to funding, 1 to 4 days. And personal guarantee, they will ask for it depending upon the amount and depending upon the industry also. And the primary coverage of Comerica is Texas, but they are also present, and this is their secondary coverage areas. They are present in Louisiana, Oklahoma, okay, Arkansas. They're also present in New Mexico and California. Sorry, they're also present. Yeah, they're present also in Arkansas. Okay, this is important. So we have here number 4, folks. First Financial Bank. Our score 9 over 10. Great bank, folks. Great banks. They have a constellation of business loans that you will love. EIN-Only. So the time in business 9 months. Minimum credit score 580. Business revenue minimum $7,500 per month. The loan amounts will fluctuate between $10,000 and $325,000. The estimated APR 750 to 17.95%. Loan term 12 to 84 months. Auto pay discount, no. No origination fee, no prepayment fee, no late fee. Co-applicants are not allowed, okay? And time to funding 1 to 5 days. And in some cases, they will ask for personal guarantee depending upon the applicants, your creditworthiness, but also the industry you're operating, okay? And so First Financial Bank is based in Texas, great state of Texas. That's the primary coverage. And the secondary coverage is Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. And this is a publicly traded company. So basically, and they trade under the ticker symbol FFIN. Number 3, folks, we have IBC Bank. Our score 9.5 over 10. another great bank based in the great state of Texas. And so the business loan requirements: time in business 3 months, minimum credit score 530, business revenue $6,000 per month. The loan amounts will be between $25,000 to $750,000. APR will fluctuate between 6.85 to 21.50%. Loan term 12 to 60 months. There's auto pay. There's no origination fee, nor is there a prepayment fee, a late fee. Co-applicants are allowed. Time to funding 1 to 3 days. Personal guarantee, no, you don't have to provide anything. And the primary coverage of IBC Bank is Texas. The secondary coverage is Louisiana, New Mexico, and Arizona. And this is another bank that is publicly traded. In other words, IBC Bank is part of International Bank Shares Corporation. So they're traded on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol IBOC, IBOC. This is good to know. But overall, we just love the fact that this is a company that's constantly innovating, and they're constantly pushing their customers to invest more, to innovate, to develop their businesses. Fantastic. Number 2, folks, we have here the First Republic Bank. Our score 9.5 over 10. And this bank is great when it comes to EIN-Only business loans from community banks with dirt cheap APR and large amounts. So time in business 3 months, minimum credit score 550, business revenue $5,000 per month, the loan amount $25,000 to $500,000, estimated APR 5.75% to 18.75%. The loan term 12 to 60 months. Auto pay discount, yes. Origination fee, no. Nor is there a prepayment fee or late fee. They do allow co-applicants, and the time to funding 1 to 3 days. We love First Republic Bank because they're really fast. They're really fast in funding the loan as soon as you are approved. And personal guarantee, yes or no, depending upon the transaction. And the primary coverage of First Republic Bank is California. And the secondary coverage is, this coverage encompasses the good states of Oregon, Wyoming, Connecticut, Florida, Massachusetts, and New York. And you can see that when it comes to First Republic Bank, from a geographical perspective, their coverage areas, especially their secondary coverage areas, are far flung. So when you go from New York all the way to Wyoming, you just basically you're basically crossing the whole country, right? But this is the beauty of this bank. They are so innovative. They are basically changing the real definition of community bank, and that's fantastic. Number 1, folks, when it comes to the best of the best, when we're talking about the 10 rare EIN-Only business loans from community banks with huge amounts and cheap APRs, number 1, we have Tri-County Bank, Trico. Our score 10 over 10. So in terms of business loan requirements, we have here time in business 6 months, minimum credit score 5.525, business revenue 10 grand per month, loan amount $50,000 to $1 million. The estimated APR 1.99% to 19.63%, very good APR. Loan term 18 to 72 months. Auto pay discount, yes. They don't have any origination fee, no prepayment fee, no late fee. They do allow co-applicants, and the time to funding 2 to 5 days. And personal guarantee, they might ask for it depending upon the transaction and the amount you're looking for. And the primary coverage of Tri-Counties Bank, is California. And the secondary coverage is Oregon, Nevada, Washington State, and Arizona. Okay, and this is a company also that trades on the New York on the stock exchange. They actually trade on NASDAQ under the ticker symbol TCBK. All right, folks, this was it for today's conversation. I was quickly talking to you about 10 rare EIN-Only business loans from community banks with huge amounts and cheap APRs. Number 1, we have, let's just recap here. Number 1, we have Tri-Counties Bank, 10 over 10. Number 2, we have First Republic Bank, 9.5 over 10. Number 3, we have IBC Bank, 9.5 over 10. Number 4, we have First Financial Bank, 9 over 10. Number 5, we have Comerica, 9 over 10. Number 6, we have a Frost Bank, 8.5 over 10. Number 7, we have a South State Bank, 8.5 over 10. Number 8, we have a Seacoast Bank, 8 over 10. Number 9, we have Community Bank, 7.5 over 10. And number 10, we have NBT Bank, 7 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.